Assalamu alaikum, guys. Welcome to episode 49 of Freshly Grounded. We've got big man Sam back in the building. Assalamu alaikum, Sam.
Wa alaikum assalam. Rahmatullahi.
I'm so sorry.
Wa barakatuhu, right?
Yeah, sorry.
I finished my greeting.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
You okay?
I'm okay, bro. We are back in the building. We are back, Division FG team. We've got big man Sam, we've got Red One, and we've got myself. It's an amazing episode. Alhamdulillah. That was very self-amazing. It's an amazing episode. Now, it's a very nice. It's just very, alhamdulillah, it's very nice to just have the team back, and we had a good old chinwag, a good old catch up. And you know, sometimes we do these episodes of Freshly Grounded where, and we think to ourselves, oh, it would have been nice to have had a guest today because, you know, while it's always nice to have this team and this setup, it's also very nice to mix it up and add a guest in and gain knowledge in that person's field. But today it was very nice to just have a catch up because it had been a good few weeks since we had this.
Exactly. Yeah, and that was good, man. It flowed.
Yeah, so guys, listen, as always, this episode is brought to you by 59. That's 50_NINE on Instagram. It's 59 Stanhope Road in St Albans, Hertfordshire. If you're in St Albans, if you're in Hertfordshire, but even if you're not, pop over there. If you're in London, Hertfordshire really ain't that far. You will not regret it. So many of my friends that I've met always have said to me, bro, you have to take me to 59, you have to take me to 59, because they hear me harp on about it and they want me to take them there. Only is one of them, actually. I want to take, if you've got time,
I would love that.
If you've got time, we'll speak off air, but if you've got time to
I would love that. I'd love to see. I miss Only, man. I haven't seen him for a minute.
Sick. I'm going to make that happen. So 59, honestly, guys, the reason I harp on about it is not just because it's Sam's shop. It's because I genuinely love their coffee. I love their snacks. And whenever I'm in St Albans, I'll make sure I head over there pretty much all of the time and make sure I grab myself a coffee or some fresh salad, some fresh snacks, some energy balls. The vanilla energy balls are my favorite. I love the what is it called, the sourdough with peanut butter and banana.
Yep.
And anyway, fresh food, fresh snacks, amazing company, amazing environment, everything's vegetarian, everything's halal. Head over there. 59 Stanhope Road. If you quote Freshly Grounded, you get £1 off of your order. And so how can you complain?
You can't.
So you can't. Also brought to you by Zaha, izaha.com, guys. It's zaha.com. Arabic caps, Arabic hats, t-shirts, jumpers. Head over to izaha.com, izaha.com. Type in Freshly Grounded in your cart. You get 20% off there. It used to be 15%, but due to some negotiation on behalf of you guys from Brother Sam, it's been notched up to 20%. And lastly, brought to you by Flavor, FLAVR, flavor.co, flavr.co, your one-stop shop for branding, apps, websites, marketing, social media content creation, flavor.co, flavr.co. Guys, listen. Just listen here for a second. Before you skip this bit, just listen here for a second, yeah? Before you skip this bit, just listen here for a second, yeah? Cool. If you want to sponsor Freshly Grounded, head over to freshlygrounded.com/partner. There you will see our stats. If you scroll right to the bottom, there's a form. You fill it out. Someone will get back to you. And Ramadan is coming up, which means Freshly Grounded is going to probably see a spike, inshallah, which means that there's more of a chance for you guys for your businesses to get heard about, to get seen about. And Sam, tell us, if a person sponsors Freshly Grounded with their business, if they get a shout out at the beginning, is it even going to benefit them?
Wallahi, the effect that it's had on both 59 and Menspire, and even Highly Blessed, the cap I'm wearing now, has been phenomenal, and it's from people listening and viewing this. So yeah, it's very, very powerful. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. And it's true,
I said
guys.
Wallahi then. There's no lie. There's no hidden agenda. It's a alhamdulillah. This a lot of people seem to listen to this. Well, alhamdulillah. Thank you so much for listening. But yeah, it's powerful, very powerful, man. So if you've got a business that you want to promote, get in contact, and inshallah it will boost your sales and your awareness.
Inshallah. Lastly, guys, if you are a supporter of Freshly Grounded, you love what we do, and you want to support and you want other people to benefit from it, head over to patreon.com/Freshly Grounded. That's patreon.com/Freshly Grounded. Not only do you get to support the podcast and help us out, you also get the podcast episode every week, one day earlier than everybody else. Listen, guys, this is Freshly Grounded, one episode away from episode 50. Let's get into it.
And welcome
to Freshly Grounded, the brand new podcast by best friends Faisu and Sam.
Huh?
I said welcome to Freshly Grounded,
No, after that bit.
the brand new podcast
And after that bit?
by best friends Faisu and Sam.
Really?
Assalamu alaikum, guys. Welcome to episode 49, one less than 50 of Freshly Grounded. Who are we joined with in the studio today? Oh, just the dream team. We've got Big Man Sam. We've got Just a Phase. And we got Code Red.
Yeah.
This is looking like it's gonna be a good episode.
Just the phase.
Have we? Well, I'm really conscious because
Why?
last week's episode that we did with Yush Evans,
Yeah.
his mic cut off once or twice.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, and what I realised,
Yeah,
is
his
that-
mic was gone for a minute.
yeah, his thing was loose, his XLR cable. So I'm hoping that yours is fine. It's in there, innit?
Yeah, I was listening.
Yeah,
Yeah. Do you get anyone complain about that?
No, but
I'm
saw
going to
it.
complain because I was
Yeah,
listening
please
to
do.
it and I was like really relaxed listening to it. I'm like lying down when I wasn't feeling great, and suddenly his
It's like
just
they went to iPhone
it went.
audio.
Yeah.
That's why we have backups. Although they're not great, at least you still got the content.
At least you can hear it still. Yeah.
So how have you been, man? Because I've been telling people Sam's not here, and I've tried my best to not explain why. Because mainly because I didn't get your permission to do so. So I've just been saying, like, his health, like the
Yeah.
And people been making dua for you, and
Alhamdulillah.
everyone's
I've had a
asking
lot of
about
nice
you.
messages and stuff as well. I appreciate that. Thank
Oh,
you
that's
so much.
lovely.
Yeah. I'll be honest. Nothing serious. I was just like, I think it was, I had a bit of an infection on my head, which I'm still kind of battling now. It was a mixture of that being a bit run down, and I was down. And I was bedridden for a week, which is unlike me, man. So it was a mixture of this infection getting a bit worse on my head. I think some of the viewers might have noticed I had a little patch by my ear, ended up getting a little bit worse. And then that mixture of a few things, I was down.
You down and out.
I was down. Mentally, I was great. And spiritually, I was great.
Yeah.
But physically, I was down. I had no, I stepped out. I still had a few bits to do, so I got picked up, went out and did a few bits. I almost falling asleep. I had to go over to one of my new projects, and I was talking to builders, and I had to literally almost sit on the floor and almost fell asleep. Just
Really?
talking. Yeah, I was just energy just zapped. But alhamdulillah, man, I'm back and I feel great.
That's good, man. Alhamdulillah. It's more. I was saying, health is wealth, and health is most.
Do you know what? I always say health is wealth, and I always tag it into all we do for 59. And I'm not that I've experienced serious. I haven't been through anything serious. Not trying to make that out at all. But when your health is compromised, and suddenly because of your health you can't do certain things, subhanallah, makes you think like the blessing of actually being healthy and how that is first and foremost the most important thing that we should be really worried about over wealth, etc. Because if your health is bad, and your well-being's bad, it affects you in a terrible way. So alhamdulillah, it was a test, and it was a reminder for myself that really make the most of when you're feeling good, and make the most of when you've got energy. Make the most of that energy. Do you know what I mean? Because when your energy's gone, you know about it. It's not a good feeling. But alhamdulillah.
In my vlog, I mentioned that you were not feeling too good, and I said that you had an infection on your head. But because I didn't know if.
I love how you
were
respectful
able to say
and
that.
cautious you are. I'm blessed. I'm
appreciate
that,
It's just been a WhatsApp message like, bro, but anyway, because I didn't, so what I did is the vlog's out.
Really?
And so what I did is
did you edit it? Oh, go on, sorry.
No, what I did instead of editing that clip out,
Yeah.
I reversed that bit. So when I'm saying Sam's got infection in the head, it sounds like, oh, Sam's not here because, and then it carries on.
Really?
So do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
But bro, some people are on it. One guy suggested that he downloaded the vlog,
Yeah.
chucked it into a video editor, reversed that clip again to hear what was actually wrong with you.
Serious?
Can you believe that?
I don't want people to be worried. It was.
No. I mean, I'm sure it was just because you're intrigued, but
Of course.
yeah, someone did that. Someone re-reversed the clip just to check what it was.
But I'm okay. It was no secret. It was just.
I knew it wasn't that serious, which is why I
Yeah.
didn't completely cut. I just reversed
of
it.
course.
Not knowing that someone would
If I had something really embarrassed, maybe I'd say, look, just keep that off the air. But just it is what it is.
Is
what it is. Little infection. Took
I
the
had
big man
one
down.
on my tricep.
You're where?
My tricep.
Do you have one? Or you had one?
A tricep?
No, infection.
Oh, an infection. I had one around the same time that you had one.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, you said about rash.
And then I used that. I used that one that I was
used?
suggested. You know the one.
Oh
that
yeah,
I
yeah,
said?
yeah.
Fusidin or something.
So check this out. No, I'm not going to start moaning well, I'm not going to start moaning about NHS.
Yeah.
But my dealings with the doctors have been appalling. Like
Really?
so bad. Like unfortunately, so bad. Like I've been to doctors 4 times now. Bear in mind, it's something. I'm not going to take my hat off and show the world, but it's something you can clearly see.
Right.
And in fact, my missus diagnosed it. Some of my mates around me diagnosed it, saying that's what it is. Even Josh said that's this, whatever it is. Doctors couldn't tell me anything.
That's really weird.
It's so weird, and how they're just like. And this isn't going out to all doctors at all, but from my personal experience that I've experienced, I was just like almost shocked how I felt. Obviously, it's on my head, and I've watched it, and I've kind of been monitoring it. But the things that I've been prescribed have just made it worse. So antibiotics have made it. It's no benefit. It's actually just it's bad. It's actually taken goodness from me. And
were they all antibiotics?
They
take the tablet.
Creams and antibiotics. I've spent a fortune on creams and antibiotics. None of it's helped at all. If anything, it's made it worse. Got into contact with my brother Boaziz, Boaziz Lifestyle, and he was very, very helpful, man. He was very, very helpful, and also Sooner Remedies very helpful as well, man. But just talking about, and it's almost kind of left me thinking, like, when next time I come into like a health issue or an issue like that, I might even ask that alternative advice as well, because it's actually proven to be a lot more effective. And that's not to say don't go to the doctors. I'm not saying that at all. But from my experiences, I had the first doctor. Was a young guy. He was clueless. He had to wait for a second opinion. Had to wait about 15 minutes for the other doctor to come in. So I sat there kind of just waiting. Though at that point it looked quite clear what it was, because if you look at a description of what it is, it's like you can see. She came in, looked at it for 2 minutes and said some gobbledygook and said something and gave me some antibiotics. Next one didn't know anything. The next one started talking to me about changing my hairdresser. And not you shouldn't no one should be getting skin fades, and you shouldn't have your hair cut that short, sort of thing. I didn't want to say, look, or not even that, or I'm a bit. I didn't even want to go into like what I did or anything. But she's like, I've got a fantastic hairdresser. I'll give you. And that was actually the morning when that's the appointment that I had to go to instead of shooting that day, because I was just like desperate, because it was that was on a Monday.
That was the Yusha Evans episode.
That was Yusha Evans, because it was all weekend. It got worse and worse, and I was crying out for that Monday morning appointment. Got it, and it was just like, I think I even told you, it was even more disappointing because I walked away with the only advice I got was about a new hairdresser.
Yeah, which is really a shame, to be honest, because you should have said.
Nah, of course.
Nah.
But yeah.
She said, hey, no arrogance here, but come check the awards on my shelf. That's all I'm saying, Sam. Yeah. International Academy. Yeah. International Salon. Yeah, I think I'm going to stick to
I actually interrupted her as she was talking. And I said, on the lines of, and I wasn't being rude, but I was like, that's all well and good, but how can you fix this? Yeah. You're like talking about this, that, and the other. Well, how can you fix this now? They're just on Google, reading off Google. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
So I have mentioned before on the podcast that I think so anyway. That I throughout my uni years I lived with medics, because we just ended up becoming friends with medics and stuff. And they would go and do their placements and come back, and they would I'd always hear the stories and this, that, the other. So one of my good friends who I lived with, Harry, he used to tell me that, he'd go to hospitals to do his placement, and he said so much of it is just the doctors Googling stuff. He's like, you wouldn't understand how much of it is just Google.
Yeah, it's crazy. They're all jumping on Google.
Yeah, man.
And ultimately, I'm not saying they shouldn't. It's impossible for anyone to know everything, and you have to obviously you go on the web to kind of explore. But it's almost like how my experience that I just thought, wow. Where all this tax I pay, would you expect just a little bit more expertise in this?
But that's why people, when they have a good doctor, they stick to it, innit? Like, for example, our family doctor, the doctor that we've been going to, it's a surgery. There's a male and a female doctor, both who are amazing, and we've been with them for so long. And so, we've ensured to keep them, and anytime my brother or my sister who've moved further away have changed their doctor, they come back. Even when I went to Wales, I ended up even when I came back, I re-signed up to the same one because they're so good, and it's very hard to find like a doctor that I think. Who's also very like caring. Do you know what I mean?
You need it when you're getting a service of anything. You want to have a chemistry with the person, whether that being just someone that you feel like you can trust, or someone who just treats you in a certain way, or someone just that you feel comfortable around. And out of the 4 experiences, there was one of the doctors, Chinese lady. She was the most confident about talking about it.
That's important.
And so I requested, and they said no, she's not got another appointment for 3 weeks. And I insisted that it was an emergency. And I saw her again, and it was, because do you know what it is? The other ones left me like baffled, and they looked even more baffled themselves. And but this one particular one was I even said to her, I said thank you so much. I really appreciate it. You actually you gave me good service in the sense that you actually trying to make me feel better. Now, inshallah, I think it's going now. This thing, man.
You need that when you're like looking for somebody. It's like going to a barber shop where the barber going, oh, I don't know.
Of course,
I'll try my best.
You need that certainty and conviction.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or a barber doing your haircut and they're looking at your hair at the end, like, oh, it's alright.
Yeah, of course, exactly.
How interesting would it? How funny would it have been if she was like, oh, I recommend you a new barber, and then you were like, oh, which one? And she said Men's Spire. That would be even funnier.
That would have been funnier.
Yeah, it would have probably. But this was gonna say. Do you know in my area?
Come closer to me.
No problem. In not in my area per se, but somewhere near me, there's a walk-in centre. Do you have those over there? So Monday to 365 days a year, even on bank holidays and stuff like that, there's always a doctor you can walk in. And to be fair, considering it's a walk-in clinic, you'd think you'd wait. You actually wait less than you would wait in like A&E. It's not that bad. Like, considering it's walk-in clinic, I've only ever waited, max like hour and a half, which granted is a very long time, but you haven't got an appointment, to be fair.
Yeah. Well, the doctor's surgery that I've been using is if you call first thing in the morning, they open at 8 o'clock or whatever, not 8 or 9 o'clock. You call up for an emergency appointment, you'll get one.
Yeah, we have that as well.
And we went to, I've got even around the corner from my yard, there's a minor injuries hospital that used to be, back in the day, it used to be a proper hospital, now it's just minor injuries. And I walked in there on the Ollie took me around there because there was the day when my eye was just like, slumped, and I was like, right, this thing is having a big effect on me, and it's actually really making me a bit paranoid at this time because my head was swollen out and stuff. Took me around there, and bless the lady, she was as helpful as she could be, but she said there's no point, we've just got nurses here that can just do sort of this, that, and the other. You need to
go to doctor.
Yeah, it needs to be a doctor. And I felt like I've been to the doctor and they've done nothing. I felt a bit helpless, but anyway, I'm not complaining because it was a very, very minor thing in the scale of things, but it was just it's been an interesting learning curve, man. And you know what? I knew this thing was on my head way before I even took it seriously. And my missus was just like, you need to go and get that checked out. And I was like, nah, it's going to go. And it didn't go.
But you do think that sometimes, because a lot of the times you do get things
battle
that
through it,
just
it comes and goes. But lesson learned.
You can't be
lesson learned, don't be too over the top. But if you feel like you have something questionable about your health that kind of worries you, there is no harm in going to the doctors. Even though obviously what I've just said about going to doctors, but there's definitely no harm going to doctors and keep yourself healthy, man. Do the means and get yourself checked out.
Yeah.
Am I right?
You are definitely right. I had a appointment this week actually. So what happened is my practice nurse rang me last week, who's been seeing me since I was literally a tiny child, and she said, "Hey Faisal, your asthma checkup is due." And I must have had last time I must have had one must have been a few years ago, and I was like, oh, okay. And then we booked an appointment for my asthma checkup 9:20 a.m. on the 13th, and so all last week I was like conscious because I forget these things. I wrote in my calendar and everything, and I was conscious I have a doctor's appointment 9:20 a.m. on Wednesday, 9:20 a.m. Wednesday, 9:20 a.m. Wednesday, and so like and then my mum had a hospital appointment that day, and there were a few other things that ended up happening. So I ended up taking the whole day off because normally I would have just done the appointment and then come in, but I had quite a few things, so I thought let me do them all on that day, seeing as I have the morning off anyway, and then just come in. So I didn't come into work yesterday, right? So I wake up in the morning Wednesday because that's what's in my head the whole time, 9:20 a.m. And I'm just like looking for my phone for a second, and then on the home screen it has a date. It said 14th of March, and I was like, what? I thought my appointment was on the 13th, but then I was like, I thought it was definitely on a Wednesday. Oh, bro! And then I checked my calendar, and it was the day before, so I missed it.
No way.
I missed my asthma checkup. So, and I didn't even feel bad about missing my asthma checkup because, alhamdulillah, I feel like, but when I had an asthma checkup, like a couple of years back, I said to the nurse, I said, I feel like my asthma's gone. And And she said, yeah, this is like what asthma is like. Like it stays there forever, but there's times in your life where your breathing is so fine that you feel like you don't have it anymore. But then there's times where it can come back and like not be as good anymore. And right now, alhamdulillah, I feel very healthy with regards to my asthma. So I'm not bothered about missing my appointment.
Yeah.
But what I'm a bit bothered about and upset about is like the thought of her like waiting.
Yeah, of course.
And like me like saying, look, I'll be there, and I've got no excuse, man, because they texted me twice. Like I got like this NHS like text service where they remind me, and it just literally, bro, like it just did not. For some reason, I just had it in my head Wednesday the 13th for some reason, and
are you gonna reschedule it or?
I mean, I don't feel like I need an asthma.
You should, because it's always going to be there. But sometimes in your life, it's going to obviously be there more often. Sometimes it's not. But it's always going to be there.
But I've also had it like for the last 24 years, so I'm aware of like what.
I didn't know you had asthma.
Do you take the blue pump?
I have a blue pump and a brown pump, but I don't take them. So my asthma journey has been quite interesting in the sense that, alhamdulillah, right now I feel fine. But when I was younger, I had it really bad, and I used to take asthma tablets, and they told me that I'd have to take them for the rest of my life. But I didn't have to take them for the rest of my life because I used to have asthma attacks maybe once a week.
Really?
I was in the hospital, yeah, and so anyway.
Do you have asthma?
Do I have it? Yeah. I do as well. But
do you suffer with it now?
I think with asthma there's different triggers. So for me, the triggers are the cold and running without like warming up. Yeah. So both of those things, I have to prepare for beforehand. But one thing I'll always say as well that young people that suffer from asthma, if there's any parents out there that have kids with it, make sure kids with asthma, make sure that you get proper like medical consultation, and also try and
don't miss your asthma checkup.
Yeah, huh?
Don't miss your
asthma checkup. Yeah, especially if they're young, because you got to know how to deal with it properly at a young age, because that affects it as you grow older. Because
I'm thinking it can be quite serious, can't it?
It can.
It can be.
You know what? As you grow older, your lungs expand, right? And you expect your like lungs to deal with asthma as you grow older, but realistically, it's got nothing to do with surface area. It's because like the alveoli swell up because of certain reaction that takes place, and that if that's not dealt with properly when you're at a young age, then it will always linger for the rest of your life. Like people that usually contract asthma always have it.
Really?
Like even my mum to this day still suffers from it from a young age, and she's almost like she's past 40. So
she got the blue and the brown.
No, she only relies on my blue one once in a while, maybe once in a blue moon. But I personally just don't like the idea of having to rely on the blue and brown asthma pumps, because essentially they're drugs, and some of them have like obviously like steroid
of course.
Constituents, and like it's not great for you. I know kids that had to take it on a regular, and the whole reason why their bodies are puffier because of those like stimulants, and it's not great.
I wonder what Boaziz and Abdul Hakim Sunnah Remedies would say about asthma.
I agree.
He definitely would have some.
They would. I'm sure they'd have some knowledge on it.
Yeah. And then on the other hand, like I have a cousin who's been obviously Prophet used to always have black seeds, and that's something that kept most sicknesses at bay. So that's something that I would like.
Black seed will cure everything other than death.
Yeah, and fish. What's it called?
Oil.
Yeah,
fish oil. It's supposed to be sick. No, fish oil is so good, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like I have it every morning, and it's.
Really?
It keeps the cholesterol and the fat in your arteries at bay, man.
Do you have it in a tablet form?
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. But the thing with fish oils are like, even if you go Holland and Barrett's, it's really difficult to find like refined ones that are really pure.
Yeah, you're right.
They say the same thing about black seed oil. They say that like, and honey. They say that it's very hard to find. Like,
it is almost impossible to find. Well, you can't go to the supermarket and get the pure thing, can you?
No.
You have to go speak to people like Abdul Hakim.
Yeah. People got a link. Yeah. Did you ever take the powdered inhaler? The circle one.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. No, only in an emergency. I needed it once, but I never took it. And the one with like the tube.
Yeah, I had that.
That was like the doctor recommended me to take that on a regular every night, but I never did it.
So I've had that one was really good for me actually. That big one.
Yeah.
Just to swerve away from the asthma conversation a little bit. You still on that? You still on honey every morning?
Not every morning anymore. No. To be fair, I have simply run out of. I've gone for 2 of them. That Abdul Hakim Jar, I've gone 2 of them now, and I need to get some more. But I did it recently though, the other day for the first time in a while. But it was very. I think it was feeling good. What did feel good was that I started putting black seed in it as well.
Yeah.
There's honey and black seed oil, and at first the black seed felt very difficult for me to have. It's just very harsh.
Yeah.
But now, alhamdulillah, I can actually have. I think my body's got used to it. I can actually have my taste buds got used to it. I can have black seed now and not be disgusted by it at all. I could just down it and like man up.
Straight or
No, with the water mixed up.
Warm water.
Yeah, you can have it straight, but I don't know if I could handle that.
Yeah, it's strong, isn't it?
Yeah. So my point is, in all of that whole conversation,
the appointment you missed
was that I missed my
appointment. Yeah.
And I felt bad. I took the appointment. But the good thing about it is that I was able to take my mum to her hospital appointment then because it didn't clash. So alhamdulillah.
How's your brother?
He's good.
Mother.
Oh, my brother.
Mother.
I thought you said brother though.
I know. That's why you said he, but I said your mother.
She's good.
Alhamdulillah,
yeah. So basically, she had a bit of a scare because she's had cancer.
I wasn't just referring to just from that appointment, but obviously you recently put something on social media. I assume it's. I could ask that question live. Yeah.
So what it is that she obviously had cancer about 2 years ago, and then 1 year later or 3 years ago, and then a year later she was given all clear. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you were to ask anybody who has had cancer, you take life very much more seriously now. So when you have certain health issues, you can think the worst because you had it before, and also you're conscious. Every little thing you're conscious a bit like, oh, like could that be me going back into what do they call it, regression or something?
Relapse.
Relapse. Yeah. So she had a scare again, basically. Not like she didn't find a lump or anything, but there was just a few things that she had a scan and they was a bit worried and this kind of stuff. So she had a scan, and so the last like week and a half has been really, really difficult for her because alhamdulillah, we went to the hospital yesterday and they said alhamdulillah, it's nothing at all. Yeah, there's absolutely nothing wrong, alhamdulillah. But imagine, from the time you get that scare to the time of your next appointment, what's going through your head as a person who has already had cancer before, and you know how much. But that week it's difficult, but mentally, bro, like she couldn't do nothing because it's just anxiety in her head. Like, what if you know what I mean? Yeah. It's a shame. Obviously, there's no fix it, but what a scary thing to go. Like, I have to wait a week and a half now to find out if I have it or don't have it, essentially. And there's nothing I can do to speed that time up. That's just the appointment I've been given. Imagine that week and a half must be the longest week and a half ever. And we were in there for a minute.
I want to ask you a question, or Sam, just for some knowledge as well. Like any kind of uncertainty in life or any kind of limbo in general is like such a difficult thing to deal with because you're not going forward or backwards. You're stuck in that situation. You get it. So Islamically, what are the ways to like maybe deal with like uncertainty to kind of gain a clearer kind of direction on something, or to calm yourself?
It's sabr, innit?
It's sabr, pure and simple.
Yeah, sabr, trust in Allah.
Trust in Allah and that connection, that dua. I mean, if you're really feeling that anxiety and something really bad's gonna happen, if you just connect to Him and talk to Him, He's the one in control of the whole thing. That would be ultimately dua. Dua is the answer for everything, isn't it? It's that's why it's called the weapon of the believer. It's literally, you're in any kind of crisis, put your hands up and talk to Him. Yeah. Real talk. And that sounds like an easy thing to say, but that's literally it. I had a meeting this morning with someone. And he found out he was about to fly out somewhere. He got a phone call. It was the time in the flight when they're saying turn off your mobile phones. Doors were closed, engine started, plane moving, and he gets a phone call from a family member in hysterics, crying. Okay. Something really bad has happened to another family member. Okay. This is the time about to take off. So the family member was in such hysterics, he couldn't really make out much was going on. So he had to end that call, then call someone else to try and find out what's going on. And at this point, the phone had to be turned off, and then he had to endure a flight of just hearing just someone in his family just in like floods of tears. And then so I was just thinking, how did you cope with, like, it was like a 3-hour flight? And then on the other, alhamdulillah, everything's okay. Alhamdulillah, it could be worse. But this is exactly the same as saying, what do you do in that the limbo time? He just had that, and then you're just sitting there. It was almost like he had to get off the plane, but it was past that point, and he was just sat there just after dealing with that. It's the same thing. What do you do? It's trust in Allah, isn't it? And dua and patience, imagine having to deal with that.
Yeah.
A student of knowledge probably has like a more better, more refined answer than us. But yeah, essentially the thing you were saying, it relates to this thing that Tim Humble said, in one of his lectures. The lecture is called Dua, the weapon of the believer. You've seen it, right?
Sure.
And in that lecture, he said that the hadith where that says that the dua is a weapon of the believer, he said that could be a weak hadith, but he said that doesn't take away the fact that the statement itself is true in the sense that the dua is
Yeah.
But he said that I was intrigued by it because a lot of people use that, but he said it doesn't take away the fact that it is like, but whether that's from a hadith is different. But bro, dua, man, is so important and we forget about it, and it's a shame because sometimes we do everything we can, but like we don't do dua, and like, or we do everything we can and we complete with a bit of dua. But it should be the other way around. We should do a lot of dua, a lot of worship, and obviously also do the means that Allah has given us on this dunya to like carry stuff out. But we almost see dua as like a backup plan or like a side thing.
Nah, it goes along with it. Everything you're doing, dua with it. Everything.
Yeah, man.
The good and the bad, man.
So last week's episode was with Yusha Evans, and I was trying out like. I'm trying to get like better at podcasting, or like even just general. Like I would say, my habits for like podcasting, or my habits for even like YouTubing and stuff. Alhamdulillah, it's got me to where I am today. But I also would say I've got such a long way to go with regards to like my how I do it. In regards to like, I think that some people are naturally better than other people at certain things. I would say I'd say you're a very good podcaster, considering. You knew nothing about it when you started and you just come in fresh, yeah? But that probably means that you're a good conversationalist in general.
Right.
So the traits I'm talking about specifically will be talking too fast, maybe talking too loud, and like butting in, etc., right? And obviously people on the followers have also pointed out like some of this stuff, which I always do well.
I love when you talk fast out of excitement.
But it's not very good podcast stuff, right? And when I listen to other podcasters, I'm thinking like, this is so like the person is so relaxed.
Yeah.
So what goes through my head when I'm podcasting, bro, is like, I don't want there to be too much silence or something because I don't want to like make like the listener get bored. A. Yeah. And B. I know that I have to, as the host, carry it. I can't expect my guest. Let's say you had a guest now. We can't expect the guest to like carry the podcast.
Sure.
Because so we're the podcast. Right. So, but then when I listen to other podcasts, I never listen to them, and sometimes there's a long silence. I never think to myself, "Oh, this is a long awkward silence."
No.
So I'm trying to.
It's almost quite natural if you think about it.
I'm trying to get used to becoming comfortable with silence, and this is something that someone had told me when I was doing public speaking as well, which I can't remember who, but someone told me, and they were saying. You have to be comfortable with the silence of the audience. If you're doing public speaking and you're talking, it's okay to also have some silence for the audience to think.
Yeah.
And that scares me, bro. So like, but I'm trying to get used to it. So, for example, when I'm like, let's say I would say that I did a good job last week with Yusha Evans compared to others because I was more conscious of it.
Yeah.
But let's say I'm speaking to, for example, Brother Yusha, when I'm butting him in, it's not me trying to be rude, but it's me realizing that he's coming to the end of his sentence and he probably has nothing left to say. I'm trying to make sure that like it doesn't go silent and awkward. So I'm like, do you know what I mean? But that's not. So I'm trying to become more comfortable with being more relaxed. So remember just now I said I'm going to try and be like more like quiet. So
that lasted 2 minutes.
With still being myself, but be a bit more relaxed.
Yeah.
And also not being scared of the silence.
Yeah. That's good intention. Ultimately, you definitely need to. I think the beauty is you need to be yourself, and if you are how you come across, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think that's why people will like you.
I think
sometimes you do speak really fast, but it's out of excitement. But maybe if you just took a chill pill in the sense that if you just like you just said, maybe stop thinking about what's to come and just enjoy the moment that you're speaking. If that makes sense.
Yeah. The other thing is that when I see other people, like let's say I see you, I see Brother Abdul Hakim, I see anyone who isn't me, basically. Yeah. I always look at people. I think like these people have got like their own. They like I know how like they speak in their own way, they are their own way, and blah blah blah. But like, I don't know if this is a positive or negative. I'm somewhat thinking it might be negative. But when I'm with a person, automatically like not my personality. My personality, I would like to think, always remains the same. And I've never been questioning my personality, like changing. But I think my characteristics perhaps change when I'm with different people because of like how they are.
Yeah.
So, for example, when I'm speaking to you, I'm speaking like this. When I'm speaking to, for example, Abdul Hakim, I know how Abdul Hakim speaks, and like I start like by accident emulating the way he's speaking.
Really?
Yeah, and I do that with everyone. And like I'm conscious that like, but I don't do it on purpose.
No, but that's about being a people person and be able to if you need to get on the level with people. All from all different walks of life, all different backgrounds, different types of people. That's how you do it. You adapt to that.
I'd like to think so.
100%.
Because I'd also like to think that I have a lot of I have good relationships with people. Alhamdulillah, I'd like to think that. Anyway.
It's not like you suddenly use someone new and you change your accent and everything changes. It's just like if someone's a certain way, you need to get on their to be on the level and have a proper conversation. You need to understand what level they're on, and whether it's higher, lower, whatever it is, and just get on that level.
Right.
So that's very natural. I think that's about being a good people's person.
Yeah, I definitely don't like change my story. Like if I was with you, I wouldn't be like, oh yeah. Remember when I got that tattoo as well? I'm not there like lying. Like,
nah.
I just like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think that's about having good people skills, bruv.
Yeah.
Otherwise, because I know people who are always so regimented themselves that's why they can't get on with everyone and can't build relationships with everyone because they're always one certain way. When you got other people who can just learn to adapt, learn how to get on someone's level. Because if you're speaking to someone not on your level from a whole different walk of life, different thought process, everything, and you're being a certain way that they can't relate to. How are you going to maintain a relationship or a conversation or whatever it is? So you need to be able to learn who you're speaking to.
Yeah, and I think there's aspects of our life where we can all kind of relate to people in different ways. So, for example, let's say you, Sam, are in a business meeting. You can pull out kind of your business experience and discuss in the manner that is suitable for that discussion. However, if you're speaking to now someone like who is not a businessman, but like potentially is more like how you were when you were growing up, you can pull from that experience and highlight that more. Do you know what I mean?
I know that very well. I had a whole day yesterday of doing appraisals and interviews in Edinburgh, and it was exactly that. It was literally how I was speaking to different people about different things, having to get on the level with the all different people they're all from different places as well. But it's about getting on the level, whatever level they're on, and being approachable, being on the level. Because if you can be on the level, how many people have you met in your life that you say, nah, he's on the level, which basically means I can relate to him. I respect what he's saying. He understands me. I understand him.
Bro, and that's the best conversations, isn't it?
Exactly. So that's what you need. That's what it is. That's how you have to be, man.
Yeah.
That's how I think you have to be. That's how I try and. That's how naturally. That is because I speak to so many different people about different things. Yesterday I can't tell you how many meetings I had. I stayed in one spot. People would come and go, and I would be having these meetings, and it was like a different conversation each time, and with different topics, whatever it was relevant to, and it was just about adapting to that. But that should happen naturally. It shouldn't be forced. It shouldn't be thought. You need to just learn how to do it naturally.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I can. I do.
It's strange you brought it up because literally yesterday, and it's also like speaking to people yesterday about mostly positive. One of them was a slight negative, and it was trying to but being on the level. I'm not trying to be like I'm so and so. You're this. But it was like bring it down. I'm totally on the level. Let's talk. What is whatever it is, we can work it out. I've been there. I know that. Does that make sense? Without going into it too much. And I had to really like. I wasn't trying to be a boss or a leader or a manager. I was just trying to be like on a total even playing field, a friend level, and be like, yo, what's good? And then the next man would be like, so why do you want to work for Minspire?
Right.
Do you know what I mean? What can you bring? What can you bring to the table with the most confidence and the most power that I had? And the next one was like, so how can we help? How can we sort this? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I suppose if we pull it back to the Sunnah as well, you can see we hear about ahadith where, for example, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam would speak in a certain way to like the elderly, for example, but then maybe differently to his own companions, and then differently to children, to young people. Yeah. Like when the young boy came up to him and said that he wanted to commit zina, for example, that famous hadith where the way he spoke to him was very pleasant.
Yeah.
So I suppose you're right. It's almost like being a chameleon.
But always remaining yourself.
Always remain. So your personality stays true. Who you are to your core.
Yeah, you are who you are,
and you never lie, and you keep your story's your story. But adjusting your characteristics maybe in ways in which are suitable for that event.
And I think that all basically comes that's all from hikmah anyway. That's all wisdom based, isn't it? Wisdom is learning how to deal with a situation in the most correct way, using your hikmah.
Speaking of chameleons, there was a frog outside my house the other day.
Really?
A frog. Have you ever seen a frog outside your house?
Not my current house, but I've seen frogs in the wild.
I don't think I've ever seen a frog in the wild.
I have.
At 24 years old. Can you believe that? It was right outside my doorstep.
What did you do?
I walked past it and I started opening the door and I said to my wife, I said, come on. She goes, I'm not walking there. I said,
Don't be afraid
why?
of the frog.
And she said, there's a frog there. It could jump really high. I said, don't worry, I'll protect you. Let's just say we got in the house. The frog didn't harm nobody.
At least it wasn't a... what would you call it?
A kutta.
A kutta.
Yeah, then I would have been like, I ain't protecting you.
Yeah, allow that. Help me.
Help me carry me into the house. And we went to this like really like posh like brunch place.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, man. I was trying to like. I was in London and
Knightsbridge.
no, it was in Covent Garden. It was like this brunch place, right? And I was teaching my missus about the rulings on the cutlery. You know about that?
Yeah.
So like, there's like when you go to like a posh restaurant, there's like loads of cutlery on each side.
Yeah.
And I was teaching her that the correct way to eat, because we started eating and she just went in and she grabbed like,
Outside in.
whatever cutlery. It's outside in, exactly.
Done now.
She just grabbed. I think she just grabbed midway. I said, "Listen here, there's a technique, okay?" And because my uncle taught me one time, because he went for like elocution lessons or whatever. And yeah, so you eat from the outside in, don't you? So the outwardmost cutlery is that for the starter, and the mains, and then dessert.
That's correct. Yeah.
I was acting very posh.
Rate that.
I was like sitting with my chest out and my back straight, and she was like, "Why are you not talking? This is new place." I was like, "Because we are in a posh restaurant." It's so funny.
Was it nice?
Oh, it's just not me though, bro. Like, it was so
Too
like,
much.
Yeah, it's just so like, bro. If you see like,
Too posh.
yeah, but you
Give it a shout out.
nah.
Nah, fair.
Yeah, we only went there for like a little bite. So, but if we went there for a meal, like a proper, bro, you would have paid like big bucks for like, yeah, man. Put it this way, French toast, yeah, French toast, innit?
Yeah.
Go.
You had French. Is that what you had?
Yeah, you go. So that was one of the like
Yeah.
desserts, yeah. So imagine French toast is like how you're paying maybe in like a regular restaurant. I don't even know if they do vegetables, but you're what, 3-4 quid, yeah. So it's £12. So you can imagine.
For what, 2 slices of bread?
Yeah. So you can imagine.
Yeah. We had.
It's very rare. It's very rare. Like,
Bro, we had
go out and stuff. So.
We had. That's good that you did that. But all these nice places. Yeah, you can go to very, very nice places, and you can look and you can find like almost deals. You can find lunch set deals, and was it a deal?
Yeah, no. But I was gonna say. Remember that time I told you, like, we often would go to Knightsbridge, and like, it's the nicest cafes, and the nicest cafes in Knightsbridge, which are beautiful inside, everything. But bro, you spend a tenner, and you have such a nice evening.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes you're not hungry, but you just want to step out.
Yeah.
But we're driving to Knightsbridge because alhamdulillah, we're blessed enough to live in London. So for me, getting into anywhere in Central is just one straight road. Because there's what
really as easy as that. Yeah.
Yeah, there's one road that connects like.
the dual
It's
carriage.
that big dual carriageway. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I live right on that dual carriageway basically. So for me to come in is easy. So. Bro, little drive, 30-minute drive in, at your Knightsbridge, you go into a really nice posh cafe, which is amazing, beautiful. You have such a nice evening.
Yeah.
Bro, you get 2 coffees.
Yeah.
No one's going to ever charge you 15 quid for a coffee. Do you know what I mean? Like, the 2 coffees, like what, £3.50, £4 each, and get yourself a cake for a couple quid. Bro, you spend about £10, honestly, and you have the most amazing. Now, you wouldn't even spend that if you were to go to Nando's.
Yeah.
You spend like much more. So, yeah, man, they are really nice ways for cheap.
We went to a very, very, I'm not going to say basic caf, but I would say like a caf a little bit more in depth than 59 yesterday in Edinburgh, yeah?
Okay.
We ended up paying 20 quid a head. And all I had, I had a smoothie and I had egg on toast and I got some sides, which was avocado and vegetarian haggis.
Sorry, what did you say? It was in Edinburgh?
Edinburgh.
Yeah.
And
you had haggis? What's that like?
Vegetarian haggis was beautiful. It was made of like pine nuts and various bits and pieces. I don't even know what it's made of, but
Wow.
normal haggis
It's
is
sheep stomach, isn't it?
sheep stomach.
Really?
Which, I didn't obviously.
That's
Didn't
interesting. Vegetarian haggis.
They obviously, because it was in Scotland, they obviously have
Right.
catered for a veggie version of it. It was
Right.
amazing. It was just like
Dundee. Sorry. Go carry on.
Where is it? I might be going to Scotland soon, so I want to.
Edinburgh.
Edinburgh.
Yeah. Don't get
Okay.
you'd make sure it's halal if you get the normal haggis, but I don't know whether they even do that. But the vegetarian haggis, if you've got it, it's the first time I'd have seen it over there. But it was great. It was just like, have you ever had? Enjoy the silence. Don't worry. Don't,
Yeah, I
don't
was
fear it,
enjoying
don't
that.
fear it.
I was enjoying
I
that.
can't remember what it's called. It's called meat something loaf. Something loaf. Like it's a veggie option for a Sunday roast. Something loaf.
Is it meatloaf?
Meatloaf.
No, not meatloaf.
Meatloaf is made with meat.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, let's not. I don't want to go off on the tangent.
Yeah.
It was vegetarian haggis, but it was made of like.
Bean.
What did I first say?
Beetroot? I don't know.
No, I
No,
said
no.
Pine. You said pine.
Pine.
nuts.
pine nuts and like bits and like mixed up like a yeah. I can't. I'm not
Okay,
gonna-
okay.
It was
Yeah.
lovely, yeah. Anyway, the point is, I had that as an extra. I had avocados as an extra. I had some cherry tomatoes as an extra. And I had a smoothie which was small,
Yeah.
half the size of a 59 smoothie, so very small. My bill was $19.50.
Oh wow.
Joke.
The boys had that, but they all had coffee as well, and they were paying like 21, 22 quid, and it was just extortionate. And it's just like,
Wow. You gotta be clever with this
Wow.
stuff.
you got to be careful, man. You're in the city centre, you sometimes question it, but how much you're paying? Like 20. I spoke to Gianni afterwards about it. I was just like, does it not worry you how like expensive life is getting? Just like everything is just like careful. Go. There's a Marks and Spencer's just down the road from me. If I want to go and get a bottle of water, Highland Spring, not even a big like a 2 litre, like a 1.5 litre or whatever, it's like £2.
Yeah.
Does that not worry you, like how everything is just it's so expensive?
Listen to this. So we went out with the brothers the other night, and then after food, we went to this dessert place, and I noticed something that if you don't think with your eyes and you just think with your mind, you save a lot of money, bro. So we went to this dessert place, and one of the brothers got a crepe. Yeah. Now what the crepe comes with is, so it's the crepe itself. It's got like probably like a chocolate sauce on it, and then like bananas or something, right? Which by the time you've eaten that, would fulfill your sugar desire.
Yeah.
You won't feel like you need more, etc., etc., etc. But before you order, so he ordered that, but then he got, which would have cost him I think like £4, like £3-4, right? And then, but while he's ordering, there's all of this list of extras, isn't it?
yeah,
But they
yeah.
all cost like 90p each or something.
Yeah.
So he's getting extra nuts, chopped up Snickers, chopped up flake, all of this stuff, right? And you're taking a £3 crepe, which you would have 100% been satisfied with by the time you're eating it, to like now like £7, £8, £9.
Yeah.
So you just spend all of that like extra money, and in the grand scheme of things, you would have saved that money, and you would not have felt like, oh, do you know what? That crepe was amazing, but if I only had extra.
Yeah, it's true.
You never think like that, but because it's fulfilled your desire. And there's another thing I did. I went to this restaurant. It sounds like I'm always eating out now, doesn't it? I went to this other place some time back with my missus, and I ordered this chicken stir fry, right? So it would have been lovely as it is. Chicken stir fry, fine. I don't need anything else with it. By the time I'd eaten it, I would have been happy as pie, yeah? But I ordered an extra. I said, can you put prawns in there as well, which obviously costs extra. And prawns is fish, so it's not cheap.
Yeah.
And by the time I ate, I was like, you know what? I would have been just as happy like that without prawns. So these little, I know it sounds like, oh, you're only saving £2 here, £3 here, £4 here.
Adds up.
But bro, this stuff, if you do that, if that's a habit of yours, let's say you go out every now and again, you're in the whole month, you've already spent an extra 50, 60, 70, 80, could even be £100 on things that if you had not done it, it would not have made any difference.
Very, very, very good point.
I'm learning that now.
That's a very good point. How is your money management?
Bro, my management, do you know what? Yeah, my money management has got so much better recently.
Yeah.
And I think that's because like before, do you know when you don't have a care for money?
Yeah.
Or like you don't have as many responsibilities.
Yeah.
You don't really think about it.
Nah.
But when you have responsibilities, bro, and you think, look, I've got to pay this bill by the end of this month, you just think to yourself like, what is it's not going to make any difference to me if and also, bro, a lot of it is desire, bro. Like, do I need to have these extra prawns, or am I going to be completely content with having a very nice chicken stir fry?
Yeah.
I'm going to be very calm with having that chicken stir fry, bro. Do you know what I mean? Or am I going to be happy with? I'm literally 5 minutes away from home. Is there a point in me stopping off at McDonald's and getting a coffee drive-through, or in 5 minutes can I just get my coffee from home, which is going to cost me no money at all? These little things, bro, I'm starting to realize actually make a big difference to my life.
Yeah, You have to be bit more conscious of it, isn't it?
Of course, man. Of course.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That is the stuff that you do in it. It's like you just it's a spur of the moment decision, but that decision, if you get, it's not about that particular decision, because if those were anomalies, it'd be fine. You know, there's nothing wrong with you. You're at the petrol station, you pick up a snack. Do you know what I mean? These kind of things. There's nothing wrong with that. The thing that is wrong, I think, is the habit that you have mentally. So if you get in the habit of that, then you always think, oh, it's only an extra couple of quid, it's only an extra this, it's only extra that. And that's when, like, for example, like I said, we went to this like posh place for brunch the other day. That was a one-off. Do you know what I mean? And we enjoyed it and we had a nice time. Fine. But imagine if, like, we always like, oh, I fancy something to eat, let's go here and spend £12. It doesn't make sense, innit? So
have you, I'm surprised you haven't got one of those apps. Well, have you got one of those apps where you can actually like enter everything that you spend? And
have you got that?
Nah,
I've tried them numerous times and it's always not worked out for me.
Yeah, I've seen people who do it and they actually keep by it. It's actually good. You can actually see your expenses, what you pay for everything. But it's just ultimately being very, very organised, isn't it?
It is, man. Shall I tell you an app that I'm really intrigued by, which I love the idea of, but not this specific idea. So there's an app that keeps coming from my adverts called Moneybox on YouTube and stuff. And what it does, bro, is let's say if I buy a coffee now, yeah, it rounds up everything to the nearest pound. Think about how good this idea is for this app, bro. It rounds everything up to the nearest pound. Everything, yeah. So I'm buying a coffee £2.70. It round up to £3. So I pay £3 on my card. But really and truly, that 30p doesn't really make a difference in there. And what it does is it collects all that spare change. Yeah. Yeah. And then by the end of the week, the average person has about £12. It just spare change.
Yeah.
And then you can choose to invest that into a company. But I was thinking, imagine,
really?
yeah. But that's the bit that I don't like about it. So I was thinking,
like, you pull it out.
You can't pull it out, yeah. So I was thinking, imagine if, I'm just.
So if something's £2.20, it would take 70p off you. 80p off you, sorry.
Yes, it always runs up everything to the next pound, which I think is a very good idea.
It's a good idea if you could access it again. It's fantastic.
So imagine you're stopping at the Costa, you're grabbing yourself a £2.20 coffee. So on your card, you're taking off £3, fine. But and imagine like one day on a rainy day, 6 months time, I look at my account, I'm like, wow, I've got like a couple £1 billion there. I could do with it right now because it's a rainy day. Or like, you know, I burst my tyre, I didn't expect it. For example, I need to pull out some extra money, and you got that spare money just in. Or what if you don't ever need? Because the grand scheme of things is, bro, like for most people, if you're spending £2.50 on a coffee, that extra 50p is not going to make a huge difference to you at that point in time. Yeah. So it forces you to save, doesn't it? So I think if someone had built an app where they can somehow merge it with your bank and it pulls out all of this money and then it kind of saves it and you can just pull it back out,
it's a very good idea.
That'd be amazing.
I liked it until you can't pull it out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's definitely possible. So anyway, I went on the search for the same kind of app, but you can put it out and it doesn't exist.
Does it give you like a limited option of what businesses you can invest it to?
Yeah, so it has to be like, it's this big business like Disney, Netflix, Unilever, but I don't want to get involved with that kind of stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I could invest it into like, I have no.
Did you look into intricates of that? How would that work? The investment of that would work.
Islamically,
no. Just like if you were to invest, if you have to
because they're all public traded, they're all public companies, aren't they? So you just get like.
But ultimately, then you can
half
get
a share or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but then you can ultimately sell those shares and get the money there.
It's true. So in the long term, you could. Yeah.
Long term, yeah.
Yeah, but then So that actually reminds me of this other thing. You know, there's this podcast called The Tim Ferriss Show, and it's like the biggest podcast in the world, and one of the biggest podcasts in the world. And so it's a business podcast, and this guy, like I said, he's called Tim Ferriss, and he's very wealthy. And he mentioned in his podcast that one of the ways that he's become very wealthy, so he's very wealthy because he invested in the right companies at the right time, essentially. That's it. And I was listening to his story, and you know what he did? What he did is, business school cost, I think he said $80,000 for the year, and it was a 2-year course, so it would have cost him $160,000. If I'm not right, I'm sure someone will correct me, but from what I can remember, so it's going to cost him $160,000 to do this 2-year course, yeah. Which I thought sounded like really expensive, but then I mentioned it to somebody else, and they said no, that sounds right because it's like these top American business schools. That's what we're looking at. So he saved up for this business school, and then he decided what I'm going to do is instead of going to study for 2 years, I'm going to use this 160k as practice money. So I'm going to prepare myself to lose this money and go into the big bad world of business already, and then essentially use this money to like make all my mistakes, etc., etc. So then what he did is he used his money to invest into companies like Uber, companies like this really other big company that's like really big right now. I can't remember, like, for namesakes, big companies like, for example, Uber, Airbnb, Instagram, WhatsApp, all these big companies that back then were just starting, and he put money into them because back then they might have only needed like 20k, this, that, the other, and you would have got like a half. And so now he's just cashing in from all these companies that have gone massive, and he's speaking about his process. So
and that's how he's made his money, just for investments.
I believe so. Now, obviously, because he's got the biggest podcast as well. I remember I was telling you, like, but. I'm sure he has other ways of making money, but that was one of the ways in which.
How old was he when he started doing that?
I can't remember.
Long time ago.
Well, it wouldn't be that long ago because Uber wasn't around like 10 years ago.
How old is he now?
I'd say like, I'm guessing, but I'd say like mid-30s. I don't know. I'm sure he went through a struggle because I don't think he's from a privileged background necessarily, but he. It's
just obtaining that 160k in the first place, then having the knowledge on where to put that 160k.
He said he used a lot of consultants. He made a lot of like smart decisions. A lot of people look up to him for like his like life skills, like his organization, this, that, the other. But I mean, his life.
Does his podcast make him a lot of money now?
Bro, cake.
But
did I not tell you?
Yeah, you did say.
Yeah, madness. Yeah, man. So. Yeah, it's interesting how people... money management is like one of the... If you can control your money, and I'm not saying that I've definitely not at this level, but I'm saying like theoretically it seems like if you can take control of your money situation, you probably are very good at taking control of many other situations, because money is one of the biggest things that whether we like it or not, like, is desired, isn't it?
Massively.
So if you can control that desire and like really prioritize your desires, then you're probably going to be a winner.
But like you said, there's points in your life when you haven't got responsibilities, but when you have like financial responsibilities and outgoings, and it falls onto your head, you can't really compromise like being frivolous with your money. You have to manage your money. You have to make sure that if you're paying X, Y, and Z, and if you don't pay those bills, you're in deep doo-doo. There's no other choice, isn't it? So I think you
think about things more.
I think when there's definitely parts of my life when I've had not huge overheads and this, that, and the other, when I don't think so much about money in the sense of like being organised with it. But realistically, I can't afford to now, because I know I need to. This needs to be there. This needs to be there. This needs to be there. And it seems almost like the more money you make, the more money you owe out anyway.
Bro, can you believe when I first moved into these offices with Zaha? This is honestly true. When I moved into these offices with Zaha, I wasn't married, I think, or I'm pretty sure I wasn't married yet. Yeah, or I had just had. Either way, I wasn't. I'm pretty sure I wasn't married, right? And so we moved here, and honestly, bro, most days I was coming into work and spending £15 a day on food, because I was doing Deliveroo every day, most days, yeah. And at that point they had like, I think like a £2.50 or something charge on top of what I would order, and what I would order for a meal would be about £10-12. So I was spending £15 a day, bro, on food. Well, now I could never imagine doing that. Never, bro. £15 a day, you mad? Do you know how much money that is, bro? That's like 15, 30, 60, like in a week, bro, you spend in a month you spend a few bills, bro. Just like, it's stupid, isn't it? It's like it's the fact that it's just an unnecessary way to spend money, because I like, there's always food at home you could bring in, or you could just not spend £15 on yourself.
It's a lot of money to spend on a lunch, isn't it?
But that's on one meal as well. So imagine there's a lot of days I'm eating twice.
Of course. I was guilty for that as well. I remember when I first moved into the first shop and being in the environment where there's lots of restaurants around. Generally, I'd have a few meals out a day, and it adds up, man. Adds up big time.
That's one of the biggest things that people spend money on, isn't it?
Food.
Yeah.
They're just levels. You need to be smart. You can still go out. You can go out for eat, and you can still don't have to spend a huge amount of money.
Yeah.
Enjoy that silence.
Yeah.
Be confident with the silence. It's not awkward. Sometimes you're like, Sam, silent.
No, because I'm not like, that's you're right. Sometimes I'm like, oh
no, they're gonna
yeah.
Drink some of that water. I don't do that. It's horrible. Try and enjoy some silence.
I think I'm done with enjoying the silence now.
It's becoming a bit slightly awkward.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So what's next? What else?
Next, so my week consisted. You were in Scotland, and my week consisted of. Oh wow! What did my week consist of this past week? Pretty much nothing. Oh gosh.
You must have done something.
I've been speaking to a lot of businesses. That's just work stuff. We've launched this new sister program with Flavor.
Yeah, I've seen.
So we're very busy with that.
Yeah, very busy. Yeah.
Very busy, man.
Omar was saying how many people got in touch, man.
Yeah, it's insane, man. So
Yeah.
I've been doing.
Oh, were you the main person dealing with you?
Clients,
Yeah.
So I was like,
And how's that been?
fun actually.
Has
fun,
it?
yeah, really fun because you're dealing with people and it's nice and you have nice conversations.
Mostly on the phone.
Most of the phone, yeah, like 100% of them people.
Yeah, all of them on the phone.
So it's kind of been split. I wouldn't say I was doing all of them. Me and Sam were doing with the like in terms of like phone wise and stuff. And it's been really fun, man. Like seeing where people are with their businesses, but it's nice to see the psychology of people as well. Like because you see it from the outside, you're like, oh, right, this is what a person thinks of their own business, and this is where they do, and this is the things that motivate a person. And so yeah, man, that's interesting. It's interesting conversing with people. I've always been interested in people's psychology. It's something that I studied within criminology, was social psychology. So it's interesting to see how people think, and just having nice conversations with people. That's been really good. So yeah, I've been busy with that. A lot of that conversation and stuff. And so I haven't had a lot of time to put into my YouTube either, which I've been planning to edit this vlog for a while, so I'm going to do that today and edit Freshly Grounded. So today's kind of a lot of like editing and stuff, which would be nice. But yeah, before the podcast, you mentioned you noticed that my hair is looking
Longer.
crazy. Yeah.
Not crazy. I said your hair's longer.
Yeah.
It's alright though, man.
Do you think it looks okay? Well, yeah, I've got a hat on, but
You have got a hat on, yeah.
so the reason for that is basically my hair, as you know, like my hairline just like is going back and back and back. Not back and back and back, but it's not ideal. It's like
Is that a new hat?
It's not. It's old hat.
Old hat.
Yeah, it's old hat. I have loads of things that I don't like.
Put your head down. It's quite nice.
Thanks, bro. It's an old one.
Looks new.
It's because it's not been worn.
You should wear more your things, utilise your clothing more. Is that a new jumper as well?
No, it's old. There we have it. Yeah, so I thought, let me see what I've never grown my hair out. I was like, let me see what my hair looks like growing out. And so as you do, I consulted the missus. She was like, yeah, man, you can go another few weeks. Like, just see what it looks like.
Take your
so
hat off?
No,
Or was
because
that
it's
gonna mess
squashed.
things up?
It's squashed.
Fine,
Yeah.
fine.
And then so that's my plan. Just see what it looks like. But the problem with it is that when you have a beard, as you know, like the hair's not a problem for me right now. But when you don't get a trim, bro, your beard becomes really messy. And so trying to shape up my own beard and stuff has really been like causing me issues. And also like my sideburns are like, you know what I mean? So
Be patient.
yeah.
I have to grow my hair at the minute as well.
Yeah, you have to. But your hair doesn't look bad, bro. Because you had long hair.
I hate it. All I want is I've had long hair many times. So I really want a high skin fade, man.
Yeah.
How that makes you feel, as you know how that feels.
You know how you feel with the first trim? Because I was reminiscing. I was looking at pictures of myself with like when I had a trim, and I thought, oh, like I look nice and clean.
I see that
fresh.
new picture of you on your Instagram as well.
Oh, do you know what the original caption for that was?
What was it?
It was borrowing my friend's clothes part 2.
Really?
Yeah, because remember I took that picture outside your shop with Hanan's jacket as well. I was my point in that caption was to show people that like.
What was your caption?
I changed it to just at Eagle Chauffeurs because
Oh,
I was because the brother I was with, he when I'm with him, he likes for me to shout out his company, and to be fair, he deserves it because like he does
chauffeur you around.
No, it's a very like nice like company. Like they are very good. I don't know where I was going with that. I felt really weird by saying like he deserves my shout out. Like, as if I like
with no charge.
yeah. The reason I put that caption is because I don't ever want, because I feel like one of my aims in being an influencer is that I want people to feel very comfortable. And I remember I've said this to you so many times, that I want people to feel very comfortable with like whatever their situation is and to be very happy with being themselves. And so I'm always very conscious of trying to portray a version of me that's not me, and also trying to be like, yo, this is like, for example, a lot of people, for example, will like see their boys like with a certain garms, but oh, that's sick, let me take a picture of that. Do you know what I mean? And I'm the same. I'm a normal person. And so, but I like with Hanan's, when I wore Hanan's jacket, which cost like £400, which I would probably never spend on a jacket, I purposefully wrote like borrowing my friend's jacket because I wanted to take a picture because it was a nice jacket, but I also wanted people to know that there's nothing wrong with like being yourself, and there's nothing wrong
I rate that a lot.
Right. So that's why I then took a picture in this Gucci scarf, who was my friend's scarf, and I wrote borrowing my friend's clothes part 2. And then when I saw that caption, and I thought, as much as that's always been my intention, I also thought, why are you like trying to justify yourself? Like you're just taking a picture,
for sure.
And it almost looked like I was trying to I don't know. The vibe of the caption almost came across like not sincere, but like I was trying to act. Like, I want to naturally come across like I'm a normal person, and by the way, it's okay to be who you are.
Very smart and sophisticated.
But the minute I start questioning like my own sincerity on anything, yeah, that's when I'm gonna start becoming a bit like weary. So I don't ever want to get Shaitan's waspas to try and get to me in it. So I'm just whatever.
What's your opinion of people posting pictures up on Instagram of themselves?
I mean, that's a very like vague question.
It is a vague question. Do you want me to go a little deeper?
If you want, yeah.
Because people, there's so many different levels of how you use your Instagram account.
Yeah, it's true.
The reason why I've asked you is because you do it in a very humble way, and ultimately the intention behind why you put a picture up of yourself is not so you. I assume it's not so you get loads of likes and you feel, oh, everyone really likes me. It's because you're building a self-brand, your facial channel. You have a YouTube channel. The whole point is it is you, and they're not like, you're not flossing necessarily and showing off these pictures. They're just nice pictures of you, and people buy into the person. They don't necessarily always buy into a brand, etc. They need to see the person behind the brand. But there's a lot of arguments to say that about self shrines, and you do jump onto some people's Instagram accounts, and it's pure, like if it's selfies or it's them like covered in, you can clearly see people kind of showing off, holding
it's vanity, innit?
Yeah, and you see people like they've gone shopping, taking pictures of their shopping, and there's just so many different levels to it. And I, for one, I'm very confident with what I post on Instagram. Yeah, I like yourself. I have brands, but I also, not that I'm my own brand, but I also have a small following that by using my Instagram account, I use that to promote my other brands. So for me, it's important that I don't just post pictures of haircuts. Like I used to just post pictures of just haircuts. And to be honest, I find that really, really boring now. And if I jump on someone's, obviously barbering people who in my industry, you do post pictures of the haircuts because it's about showing your skill and this, that and the other. But I kind of got to a point now where I don't need to show anyone the haircuts and stuff I do because I've kind of gone in a different direction. So I post pictures generally, rather than me doing a haircut and posting a picture of the haircut, I'll rather have a picture of me outside with my team or with someone I'm doing and promote what I'm doing. It's true. Outside of the brand.
And like you say, people generally invest into the personality.
Yeah. And I promote that within my team. Yeah. I promote that because I've got so many guys involved in Men's Spy now, and everyone's posting, and we really push social media. Always in your story, I want to see haircuts. I want to see haircuts on your page. Make sure you're posting a few times a day. Really, boost the social media. But I really want to see the person and the personality and like and the good and obviously the good side of the people. Not people falling into doing bad stuff and promoting it, but people like to see a person and they buy into the person just as much as they buy into the product. But there is a thin line between a self shrine and then an account of someone who's just pushing something with the right intention. But I'm sure people will go into my account and think, oh, this geezer must love himself.
Likewise.
Loads of pictures. But I know, wallahi, my intention, I'm not posting pictures to try and show off, floss or anything like that. It's all part of building, I think it's all part of building a brand and building who you are as a person. But there's a fine line. Someone goes shopping and has loads of shopping bags and takes pictures and writes an arrogant caption about something. That's maybe sometimes slightly questionable, which back in the day is something I probably would have done. I would have maybe gone shopping, been excited that I've gone shopping, taken a picture and maybe put it online, and I would like protect me. I don't think I'll do that now because you do have to keep things private. And if you buy something nice and you want to be seen wearing something nice and you have a picture up of you online wearing something nice, is that bad? But then we have to think Islamically. We need to think about evil eye. We need to think about hasad and jealousy, people viewing you and looking at you who haven't got what you have necessarily, and it's just a fine line. And we know about social media and the evils of it and stuff, and it's just, I'm not trying to be a hypocrite because I'm aware of it, but I personally do not think there is an issue, like as long as your intention is correct with having nice pictures of yourself. You had a nice picture, it looked like you were in a smart car and whatever, you had a nice scarf on, but you look very smart and sophisticated. Didn't look like you were trying to show off, didn't look like you were trying to floss, it looked like you were actually just smart and sophisticated. A nice, beautiful picture to look at.
Thank you.
Does that make sense?
It does,
because I know people talk about this self-shrine stuff and like, I would never put a picture up of myself. Well, relax a little bit. Obviously, we have to protect ourselves from things like evil eye and stuff, but we know how to protect ourselves from evil eye. But I don't think we need to live, like, depending what you do, obviously work-wise, but I don't think we need to live in a time where you completely hide everything. I think it's nice to to show certain things, not to show off, but to inspire or just sell or whatever it is.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think you mentioned a lot of points there. So one thing I would say first of all is that I do definitely question my intentions a lot when I post things. I do that a lot. And I do sometimes have to think to myself, like, am I doing it for the right reasons, or am I? And I have to remind myself. But I think that's natural. Secondly, what I would say before I go on to like the main point, the second thing I would say is that with regards to the evil eye thing, I've been thinking about this a lot recently, and my opinion of it has quite changed. Not like I wouldn't be stupid with it and just post everything, because there are things that I'm very that are very dear to my heart that I would not post. You
wouldn't post your wife on your Instagram.
I wouldn't post my wife, and if you go on my Instagram, you'd notice that while I do post pictures with my brother a lot, it's not oversaturated with pictures with my brother, because I do really much so value my relationship with him, and so that is one of the reasons. However, when I say my opinion of it has changed a lot, I was recently spending time with a brother who, Allahu Barak, has a humongous following on Instagram and social media, and who everybody knows. And I won't mention him by name right now, but people know who I'm talking about when I say that. Look, he is him and his wife, who's also practicing, and
I've seen that, and they
post something online and they become viral whatever you post, and people make memes of it. Oh, this relationship goes, and I had the pleasure of like sitting with him for hours. I had a nice dinner together, and it was essentially a session of me convincing him to go jump on FG, and I said to him, bro, what do you think about this like Hasad thing? And bro, do you know what he said? It was something that really reassured me. He said, bro, everything that Allah has told us about, He has also given us the cure for. And if we don't like accept the protection that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave us, are we like what? I'm paraphrasing, but he's essentially saying like what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam tells us is haqq, and we can't deny it or like believe in some of his things and then like not believe in others. So if we've been given the protection for it, like for example our adhkar, our salah, we should. And even Tim Humble, when he was on the podcast, even he was talking about the importance of the adhkar. So essentially you have to have, once you've done your adhkar and you have your taqwa or tawakkul in Allah, trust in Allah, there's an extent to not listen to us. So I'm no longer that conscious of my post in that regard, as long as I am smart with it.
Yeah.
So that's like kind of that aspect of it. And now, lastly, which I think is the most important point that I've like been thinking about a lot recently, is I've started reading this book called Purification of the Soul.
Yeah.
And in fact, if you listen to one of Muslim Bilal's poems, he says something like reading Purification of the Soul in this armchair, which is when I first heard of the book. And then it turns out my wife, when she moved into my house, she brought like a lot of her books with her, and that was one of the books that she had. She's read it as well, and so I grabbed it and I started reading it, bro, and it's amazing, bro. I really recommend it to you. It's called Purification of the Soul.
I've actually got it. I've never read it,
bro. Please open it up. Nate started reading it as well, bro. SubhanAllah. First of all, one thing it does, not in a bad way, in a good way, it makes you really question your intentions. And secondly, it makes you like it's amazing. Like it talks about the stuff, like for example, it talks about that there's 3 types of hearts: the healthy heart, the sick heart, and the dead heart. Yeah. But it goes into that. But we obviously know the condition of these hearts. But it talks about like the 4 things that can like make a heart sick, and one of them is overeating. You wouldn't think it, but bro, there was a scholar who said that when I overeat, this is when I committed the most. This is when I found myself committing sin, because you fulfill that desire.
Yeah.
You know, often people use that hadith about. I'm conscious of speaking about knowledge, but because I've read it, I'm quoting from like somewhere. I wouldn't like bring this knowledge forward myself because I'm not a person of knowledge. But you know the hadith where the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, "Eat to your third, leave a third for food, a third for water." That the third there isn't the target; it's the limit. It's saying don't eat your food, but if you have to, munch until a third of your food. So it's not. We shouldn't be eating like, all right, let me figure out my third. It's like if you have to, then I'm going to feel too much.
That's the limit.
Yeah. So anyway, but it talks about that. It talks about like, for example, one of the people on the Day of Judgment who will be a big loser is going to be someone who thinks that they've done all of these good deeds, but they actually all work to his disadvantage because his intentions were not pure. So all of this stuff about the soul, purifying the soul, bro, we need to read that book, man. And I'm only like 20 pages into it, so I imagine there's going to be so much more. But that book, man, like changed a lot of my things. So in fact, like it made me question my social media. But why am I doing what I'm doing? Why am I doing FG? Like, yeah, cool. We get people, you know, who message us all the time on Fresh Ghana saying, look, we stopped listening to music, or you know some of the messages that we've got, bro. but we need to really remind ourselves that this is why we're doing it for the sake of Allah. So like essentially we don't want to, bro, you're taking time away from your family, your business, everything for professionally grounded. How sad would it be and your intention inshallah is to do this for the sake of Allah, and really truly this could work to our favor on Yawm al-Qiyamah. We pray that it does. We pray that it does. And so in order to do that, we have to purify intentions and make
part
sure.
of my rituals on a Thursday morning is, as I'm getting my train ticket, is to make that intention.
Yeah.
And it's easy to make, it's an easy reminder then, because of I pay it and think,
this is what I'm doing.
because ultimately what you spend in the sake of Allah, He'll give it back. If it's not in this dunya, you'll get it in the hereafter. So it's a reminder of intention constantly. Because ultimately you can go to work, don't make any intention, no barakah is going to come from it, no reward's going to come from it. But if you go to work with the intention for the sake of Allah, and it's part of worship, it's ibadah, bruv. So you can actually do a whole day's graft, not only earn money for dunya, but earn money for the hereafter. Yeah, man. Intention, man. Renew it and be conscious of it.
Yeah.
But you have to, it's not something you can just go, there's your intention, done. You have to keep recycling those thoughts. What is my intention? Why are you doing it? It's an interesting thing to bring up, because a lot of people aren't even aware of intention.
It's such a big topic, isn't it?
Massive. It's vast, man. It's vast.
SubhanAllah. Right, let's take a small break and then let's head into some current events. And it'll be really nice to head into some current events, because for the last 2 or 3 episodes, I haven't been able to do the jingle.
True.
Because everyone's
it's been
so it'd be nice to get a little FG current event jingle in there. All right, guys, we'll be back inshallah.
So we have to talk to you.
Yo, should we just test the audio, bro, and make sure that sounds fine?
Yep.
Yeah, we're on. All right, and we're back. We're back, and Sam's put some very strong attar on my hand. Jazakallah khair.
Barakallah feekum. It's very, very strong, but it needs to settle a little bit.
Okay. My granddad used to be a very strong attar, so I'm quite used to it.
This reminds me of when I was in Jordan. When I was on the way to Palestine, we went to Jordan first. And I remember it so vividly. I was a brand new Muslim. Went to Fajr in a masjid down the road from where we were staying. And it was a proper authentic, no luxury, authentic. It was an authentic trip. And I was in the masjid, and all I could smell was his attar, like the strongest, which a lot of people would say is too strong and it smells a bit. Some might say it doesn't smell very nice, but it reminds me so vividly of that morning. And as a brand new Muslim in Jordan, I felt like an Arab at the time, and that's what every time I smell it, that's what it reminds me of. So
that's what smells do that, don't they?
Very strong.
Like
when I smell Lynx Africa, it reminds me of you.
Really?
Nah. Do you wear it?
No, not really. I shower in it. Is that too much information? That's my body wash. Now everyone knows how I shower. Bro, the one thing that you triggered a reminder of while we were in our break is that Nate was speaking to me this morning, and he was telling me about in Vauxhall in South London, they have this public urinal.
Yeah, they've got loads of places.
Bro, I was shocked. So I googled it, I checked it. Bro, and Nate showed me a picture because he took a picture. And so there's a guy in public peeing this morning. And bro, like there's children and women are walking past.
No. There's loads of them in Amsterdam as well, to be fair.
But in London, bro, I've never seen that in my life.
True. You've not seen it? I've seen it, even in St Albans, like when there's I've seen that happen. They obviously, do you know what it is? I think sometimes they put them up like portable ones. They put them up on, obviously Friday, Saturday night when people go out.
I get that.
They put them up. I've seen them in daytime. That's insane.
Man, during the day, people are peeing in public. It's a very private
thing, man.
And people are walking past.
It's a private thing, man. They better make sure they've got a bottle of water just trickle on that thing there.
Bro, I find that really weird. I've never seen that public urinal. Like, I don't know. I know I'm sounding like maybe more shocked than I need to be, but that is really weird. Yeah, I've never heard of this before.
Have you not?
I've seen public toilets where you go in and you close the door behind you and lock it, but literally in public you can have and then there's people walking past.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it doesn't quite add up.
Oh, come on, man. I don't know about that, to be honest. And it's not covered though. That's the thing. I know it's kind of covered. It's not really covered at all. Like it's literally you're standing in public. I don't know, man. Anyway, sorry. Let me just chuck the backup audio on just in case. And without any further ado, let's get into some current events. Current events.
Red one.
Oh, missed that, man.
I really miss that too. I'm still trying to figure out how Sam managed to make that noise.
one?
This was like
The last one or the one
yeah,
before? The deep end one.
yeah.
He makes it happen.
He makes it happen. Yeah.
That's what I do, baby.
Yeah. How's it going, guys? You alright?
Oh, the table's a bit bent, isn't it?
Ready
It's
for
not
some
anything.
news?
Ready for some news, baby?
Some news.
Hit
some
me with
news.
it.
What do you want? Do you want like
Look at
worldly news, or do you want to start off with unorthodox news? What are you feeling today?
I'm feeling anything.
You feeling anything? All right, let's start off with the unorthodox news. So in Afghanistan, there's a couple. You know, they're parents to a lovely child, but they are facing lots of backlash from the country itself and their family and friends and everyone because they named their child Donald Trump.
Really? That's
In Afghanistan?
That's an odd name to name a child.
Yeah, because basically the father studied in university, and while he was in university, he looked over a lot of interviews and read Donald Trump's books, and he admired some of the qualities that Donald Trump holds apparently, and taking that into consideration, he named his child Donald Trump.
Islamically, names are very,
Very
important thing.
Do you remember
Yes.
Tim Humble discussing that?
No.
Yeah.
Do you not? When we had dinner with him, we were discussing. You asked a question about having children, and he
Yeah.
actually said before anything happens, he just kind of went through the process of picking your spouse firstly, who you're going to have your child with. Then he went down to it goes even to the name and the effect their name will have on the child, and really stressed the importance of the name.
Yeah. 100%.
We have
Yeah.
amazing role models to name that we could name our children after, and I would not put Donald Trump on that list.
Yeah.
I personally wouldn't either. And it's strange that in Afghanistan as well.
Yeah,
that's
out of all the places.
you can imagine it happening in places in America, couldn't you? But in Afghanistan, it almost seems like a slight contradiction.
Yeah, and they've given even like a birth certificate over here, which was basically leaked, which is the reason why they're getting so many, kind of societal problems at the moment, because they wanted to keep it on the down low, but it got revealed, and now the family's like facing a lot of trouble. But yeah, that's like one.
Went to a Afghan restaurant the other day.
Afghan food is really good, man.
Did you see the trip that Silverback went
The
on?
bread's really nice. Yeah.
How great did that look?
I went with all those brothers because they come back from the trip. So we went to
That looked like such a nice trip, man.
Yeah, they said you can't miss it next year. You have to come.
I'd love to go on a trip like that. It looks beautiful.
We'll do
I
it
was
next year,
looking
Charlotte.
at
You want it next
definitely.
year?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, let's do it.
Recite and get reminders and
knowledge.
hearing the Quran and with those views around you. Wow.
But they were traveling with students, like with a sheikh, two sheikh like from Medina, bro. Like,
Looks beautiful, man. Looks really, really nice.
doing like tug of war and stuff.
I see they murked him, didn't they?
Yeah.
Strong men.
In other news, we got a YouTube prankster,
I heard
Faisal
about
Chowdhury.
this.
Mona Lisa Perez.
you heard about
pranks
this?
that no.
Basically, she got jailed. This actually happened a while back. I think it was
did it?
last June. But through all the trials, I think basically she's got some jail time for obviously partaking in her boyfriend's death. So they tried to film a YouTube prank where she shoots him in the chest. Sorry, she shoots a book, but the book was held in front of his chest, and it went through and basically fatally injured him in his chest.
It killed him.
Yeah, and killed him.
So basically, apparently,
Is there footage of it?
no, I don't think so.
I don't think there is footage.
But
of it. I don't think
it
there
was
would be,
it was shown live, and it said that about 30 people had watched it. But
Yeah.
basically, she's saying that I think from what I read in the article, I didn't know you were going to bring this up in current events, but I think what she is saying is that
He
convinced her,
Yeah.
and he said that he had watched loads of videos of people. So he was holding an encyclopedia, a hardback encyclopedia.
He had done it himself apparently.
Oh, really?
So he shot it through books, and it never went through
and
the
it
other
never
side.
went through the book.
So he
So
convinced
I think-
her to do the prank with him.
But he is dead now, so he can't defend himself really, can he?
Wow.
But that's the thing, and so he killed her. Sorry, she killed him.
Yeah.
The extent that people go to give views, huh?
But she didn't get. She's only got 180 days in jail, and she can only,
What?
if she wants, she can do that in 10 parts.
Yeah,
in
I saw that.
10 days.
Yeah, well, fair, yeah.
And she's got 10-year probation. So
Yeah,
she's
10-year
She
probation,
hasn't got bad intention to kill him, did she?
still dumb though, isn't it?
No,
Stupid, but does jail time for who? Oh,
Yeah,
I
know,
can't
it's
comment
a
on
bit
that.
weird,
Obviously,
isn't it?
the law and order.
so
kind of
he'd
thing.
practiced it many times, got her to do it. It killed him, and then she gets punished for it. It's just a bit of a. To be honest, it's a bit stupid, isn't it?
It just makes sense. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Why would you? SubhanAllah.
Yeah, but well, imagine if they did it and it worked well, it would be a lot of views and it would be it would be a hit, wouldn't it? That's why.
That is not worth the views, bro.
Stick to lookbook.
Yeah, stick to a lookbook.
For those who don't know what I'm talking about, jump on Faisal Chowdhury's YouTube channel and search lookbook, and here's a very funny video. I'm sure it will make you smile or cringe. Probably smile.
Both.
Probably smile. It made me laugh.
Brilliant.
Maybe cringe.
It's sick. I love it with the drain pipe, and you're just
Yeah, that was really. He just
and you
pans away, and it's just.
And who filmed it again?
Dawood.
I love it. He's like, "Are you gonna do it? Are you gonna move then?"
Yeah.
I love how because he's quite dry himself.
Did you like the bit where there was like poo all over the car behind me?
No.
And I was that was like they said this is like
Poo?
sure I'm like looking really cool, but there's a car behind me with like bird poo all over it.
I
So, like,
don't
makes
know.
it-
And I love the
makes it really
soundtrack as well. It's brilliant. Like it fits in so well.
Can't remember that one.
It's contrasting. I see your directory, like your.
It's really
you've got
good.
some-
It's very,
I
very
see
good.
it. I see it. Mad philosophy.
Probably your
behind
best one.
Really?
Yeah, most enjoyable.
I'm looking forward to shooting a vlog in Gambia.
Yeah, because your Gambia vlog was very good as well.
Yeah, well, I'm
It's the first time I featured on your channel.
Yeah, I'm going to shoot another Gambia vlog. So when we go this time,
That was actually, sorry to interrupt you, that was actually sent around some of the Dow groups I've got. That was actually,
Really?
that particular video was actually sent around, yeah.
Yeah, that had got a lot of views before I deleted it, and then I re-uploaded it because when I deleted it, it had so many thousands of views. What?
I think I didn't hit mute off.
Really?
Yeah.
It's okay. It's alright. So for those listening, we just realised that Red's mic was on mute.
Yeah.
So the things that we were going over was
Someone in Afghanistan called their child Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
A YouTube prankster was shot and killed because they shot a bullet through
Yeah.
an encyclopedia, but it went through and killed him.
Yeah,
She's serving about 180 days in jail time. She can split it up into 10 different sections.
That's it.
That's it. We've got like another.
yeah,
Welcome
it's
back.
fine. It's all good, man.
Okay, cool.
It's all good, man.
It's all part of live
Huh?
podcasting,
Yeah,
as I've come accustomed to,
yeah, it's all good,
We're
man.
just a couple of podcasters chilling, man. Relax.
Just a couple podcasters, couple mics on, couple mics off. Hold on, our mics are on, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Your mics are always on. You guys are like the highlight of this. So
Imagine
your
that.
mics could never be off anyway. All right. We got a couple sad pieces of news.
Why did you, sorry to go back, why did you delete the Gambia video?
So I deleted the Gambia video when I went on a deleting spree. At that point, that I deleted the Gambia video, you couldn't edit bits out of a YouTube video, which now you can.
You can do that?
Yeah, now you can.
Okay.
But what it was is that I had learned about the severity of lying even when joking.
Yeah.
And so I realized that most of my videos had incorporated that, and so I decided to just remove all the videos that had that. And Gambia
Where was
one of
that in
them.
the Gambia?
I just said something light, like for example, something so light, like it's like a little joke that I like said on the side. I can't even wait with, but it's something so light, like I can't even remember.
Yeah.
Bro. I can't remember. It was so light, but when you sit in a class and hear the severity of lying and joke,
Yeah.
it's no joke. So,
Yeah.
but now I would have not deleted it, and I would have just edited that bit out, which I think I might still be able to do. So anyway, it's re-uploaded anyway. But I'll.
How many views did it have?
The old one had I can't remember.
Lots.
But yeah, I heard it got passed on. But so this time we go to Gambia, I'm going to do the same thing. So what I did is I just there, because you know what it is, bro. When you're creating content, the tough and stressful part a lot of the times is the editing. And so what I did there, which is something that I'm really happy I did, is all I did is I focused on filming stuff, and I didn't focus on when I get back to the apartment, I got to edit, and I get up. It's just too stressful, innit? So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to film there as and when I please, and then when I come back, relaxingly edit when I get back.
Yeah.
Because that's what I did last time, and then that's how you create good content. And the other thing I did.
Oh
is,
yeah, because in Dubai you were doing it and then editing it
remember
and
how
banging it
stressful that
out.
was?
Yeah.
So let me just say something. So
It wasn't stressful for me, but it looked stressful for you.
Yeah. So in Gambia, what I did is I'm going to do the same thing this time. Is I filmed bits as I went, and then I came back to London and I shot one whole video where I narrated over everything for the Gambia video.
Oh yeah, you narrated it, didn't you?
Yeah, and that worked really well. So then I don't have to stress about saying, "Oh guys, now we're here, and like making sure that continuity is good. I just like film as and when I please, and then after I film in the office, I'm going to say, look, so then this day you went to here, so that's what I'm going to do again.
Yeah.
So it's just, however, on in Dubai, I filmed and edited it as I went, and I don't regret that either, because those Dubai vlogs are my favorite vlogs of all time.
Yeah, sick.
Bro, I watched them back here, and I'm like, bro, we had such fun.
It's fun, man. Very, very
bro,
fun.
Oh, how fun! I could watch those vlogs over and over again.
They're very nice. It's nice to capture those moments, man. You
Oh,
forget, otherwise
yeah,
you forget
man.
all that kind of stuff, innit?
Yeah. So that I don't regret doing it there. Even though it's a bit stressful, but and you were very patient with me. Like you were like because I treated those vlogs like work, which for me they
of course
are.
it is, yeah.
And you respectfully also treated them like work. You were like, no, Faisal, get your vlog edited.
Yeah.
Like because there was times where we'd have to go for dinner or something, and I was like, oh, like I haven't finished the export, and you'd be like, look, why don't we do this? Why don't we order food in? You finish the export, and then once you're ready and once it's all done, we'll all go out for like dessert or something. Do you know what I mean? And that was very, very kind of you to do. So
That was a sick trip.
It's nice to feel like respected in that way.
So I had a friend of mine who went out and stayed with the brother we stayed with.
Really?
And now he's moving his family out there.
No.
Yeah, mashallah, inshallah.
Really?
Yeah.
Next current event is Stephen Hawking passed away at the age of 76.
Yeah.
You know, it's quite a big deal, obviously, around the world. Have you guys ever properly looked into him or read any?
He actually went to school in St Albans.
Oh, really?
Really?
And I have looked into him, and I'm aware of what he was upon. You?
No.
Yeah, I read his book.
I don't know much
Read his
about
book,
him.
yeah.
I
So
know
one
him,
of a
but-
quote I actually read of him the other day was that heaven is a fairy tale to those who are scared of the dark.
Is that what he said?
He's a science man,
Oh.
so he'll know now. Everything will
He's going to find out the truth now.
everything will come clear to him now. Yeah, but with what he suffered with, is like generally people haven't lasted more than like 4 years with his condition. Subhanallah.
Really?
So he
Yeah,
lasted.
subhanallah,
Yeah, think about it. It's great. I
Yeah.
want to go down a conspiracy road, but someone was talking about some conspiracies the other day about Stephen Hawking. But yeah, he's died, which is very sad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that he came up on my phone straight away. Notification.
2018's 10 happiest countries have been revealed.
Oh, let's go through them all. Start with number
and
10.
The thing is, the top 4 usually never change. It's always usually the Scandinavian countries.
Can you work backwards? Start with like.
Let's go
number
backwards
10.
then. Okay, so number 10,
Is.
Down Under, Aussie, Australia.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They seem like a very happy country and nation, don't they?
I want to go there, but.
So do I.
It's 24-hour flight, so.
My cousin studied out there. Really
My
loved
sister's
it.
going out there to live there.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, my cousin just
sister-in-law
went
is
there.
currently living there in a minute.
to live and
Remember who
study.
used to work at the
That's very
thing?
far.
That's far, yeah.
Number 9, Sweden.
Sweden.
Yeah.
Have you been there?
No. Like to.
Number 8, New Zealand. I really want to go New Zealand.
Really like to go to New Zealand.
Really like- if I go to Australia, I'm probably gonna.
Yeah, of course, makes sense.
Yeah,
doesn't
it would make a lot of sense.
it? Yeah. It'd be rubbish to like come back from Australia and go, I should have gone to New Zealand.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go.
Yeah, exactly.
I really imagine myself like doing kayaking in New Zealand, and then like some killer whales like come out of nowhere and swim alongside me. Where and I slightly poop myself, but then I'm like really living in that moment. Like something
Strong
like that.
vision, man. Hold on to that vision.
I didn't want to say. Yeah, it is a strong vision.
That is a good vision, bruv. Why not?
Yeah, I'm like really scared of like one
Killer
of my
whales.
biggest fears is like the ocean, like being left in the open ocean, and like the abyss.
Yeah, I'm gonna make sure you never get left in the open ocean.
Yeah, thank you.
To my best of my ability.
Thank you.
Don't let him get left in the open ocean.
If you don't hear from me for 24 hours, you know
I'm
I've been left in the ocean.
No one take him out.
And like I can maybe swim for my life if I need to potentially.
Just don't take him. Don't let him go to the open ocean.
Fine.
Okay, Canada, number 6.
I really want to go to
Sorry,
Canada.
7.
Everyone knows I want to go to Canada so much.
Yeah.
I heard it's really, like good people there.
Netherlands, number 6.
Really?
Switzerland, number 5.
Why did you say really like that?
Happiest place. Number 6. Happiest place.
Yeah.
Big
Number
talk.
4 is Iceland.
Sorry.
Iceland.
Iceland.
Yeah.
These are all like countries I wouldn't imagine.
How is this judged?
Yeah.
How on earth is this judged?
Because I've seen really beautiful videos of like places like Nepal, Indonesia and stuff.
This is happiest places, yeah.
Yeah.
So
The happiest places,
You'd
though.
been necessarily it being beautiful doesn't necessarily mean happy.
Oh, fine. Yeah. Oh, like the people are happiest.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you can't judge a country on the actual country. Oh, how happy are you? Oh, you look beautiful. You must be really happy.
No, but I thought it meant like, for example, if you go there, it'll be like you'll be really happy. Like,
What?
obviously,
How do you make
I
that
don't know.
judgment? Happiest is in people.
No, happiest as in
The people are happiest.
the people living there.
Okay.
And then 3, 2, 1 were Denmark, Norway, and Finland.
3, 2, 1 were Denmark, Norway,
and Finland. Yeah.
I wonder what the most depressed place is.
I went to Norway once when I was a kid, and all I remember from that is that we visited like an uncle or something, like my dad's friend, and like his kid got a stone stuck in his nose, from what I remember.
A stone.
So
That's mad.
Be careful with those stones up noses.
So,
Well, do you know how many grapes kill babies?
Grapes.
how many?
I don't know. I've got this.
But it happens a lot. Oh.
A lot happens a lot, man. Because obviously you bang a grape and it's the perfect size to block up a windpipe.
Oh, right. As in like,
Right.
okay.
Food
I thought you meant how many grapes would you have to feed a baby to kill it?
I wouldn't ask that question.
I don't know if that's a
that
normal thing to assume from what Sam said. Red?
Dark times.
A grape kills a lot of babies
Wow.
because
Right.
obviously you eating or young. When I say babies, young children, because it's the perfect size to block up a windpipe.
Right.
So always cut your grapes up for your children.
Okay.
Wow, that is
Keep that in
good
mind.
advice.
Yeah.
And the last piece of news is a fatal plane crash in Nepal that was on a flight called US Bangla, which is basically a domestic flight from Bangladesh to like any domestic locations and just outside of Bangladesh as well. 38 people died. That's the following count at the moment.
When we were, I know this is like a bit different to that conversation. Unfortunately, when we hear about calamities like this, there's not much we can say other than like, you know, make dua and
make
like
dua, yeah.
it's a very sad thing. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yes,
plane
yeah.
crashes. But one thing I can derive from it is something that a brother told me once. He said that I don't know why people are, and this is a very good point. He goes, I don't know why people are scared to fly because it's the safest form of travel. It is, isn't it? It's true. So as much as obviously that is very sad, I'm just getting at like think about how many people die in car crashes like all the time.
It's true.
So traveling by
Yeah,
plane
you
is
don't
actually
get
very
worried
safe.
when you get in the car, but you get worried when you.
Yeah, it's really, isn't it? I mean, it makes sense because you're in the sky. But the brother who just came,
Yeah.
he, what am I doing?
You're saying peace.
I've never done that in my life. I've never done a piece in my life, and I just saw it went like that. What? Anyway, bro, he has been wanting to meet you for so long.
Really?
Yeah.
Who is he? Who is he?
He's a brother from like our childhood. He like went to school with us stuff, and he,
Oh, you're not
just
working
started,
here?
you know, yeah, well, he just kind of started like coming to the office and like helping out and stuff. So, anyway, bro, I don't want to praise you to your face. I'm gonna kind of only praise you a tiny bit, but a lot of people I come across are really like I told you before. They really like, oh man, I really want to meet the brother Sam. Like, which is quite like, oh okay, thanks.
Have you ever heard the expression "never meet your heroes"?
Yeah. So,
Trust me, no one wants to meet me. I'm boring.
that's what I try to tell them. No joke, I don't.
I beg to differ.
I know. I just say to them, "Oh, I hear that so much." But like, he's honestly a really busy man. Like, even when we shoot Freshly Grounded,
What we have to do is we have to do a live Freshly Grounded, really promote it and get a massive audience there and do a live Freshly Grounded, get loads of really good guests and do that. How about that?
Fine. Let's make it happen.
That means that everyone and anyone who wants to meet us, see us, we can do like a big this, but with an audience. We could even have, they can get involved. We have good, maybe a
Questions,
few
yeah.
guests as well. People of
And,
knowledge.
and after we chuck it all on the podcast app as the episode.
Acha. Yes. Okay.
Fine.
So
That sounds like a solid Freshly Grounded live. Are you insinuating that we should do a Freshly Grounded live in 2018, Sam?
inshallah.
Inshallah, I'm on that. Have you got any more current events? Red one.
No, that's it for today.
Well, then, in that case, that is the end of current events. Current events. Red one.
Red one. Cold red.
What do you think of IKEA, Sam?
There's a very interesting program about them the other day. Did you see?
Really?
Yeah.
No. What was it saying?
I don't know. My missus was watching it. I just passed through, but it was pretty impressive. The growth of that company.
Bro, you can't go anywhere without saying something.
I know.
IKEA,
And do you know what? You can't knock it because it's
No,
good.
you can't. It's good.
It doesn't last you that long, but it looks nice and it is good.
Actually, I built a.
So convenient. You go if you need something for your house, go to IKEA. You can find it, and there's lots of different options. And they put a lot of time and thought into it, how it looks, and yeah, it's good. I rate them, and they are smashing it.
Yeah, so I saw something on the news about them recently. They're doing like extremely well. But I tell
They're
you
doing extremely well,
tell you
bro.
someone who isn't. Toys R Us are going to liquidation.
Are they?
Yeah, you know that.
Didn't know that.
Makes sense though. But Amazon's taking over anything and everything.
Scary, innit, man?
Yeah, man. Have you ever taken Zayden to Toys R Us?
I've never physically taken him there, but I've been there to purchase things for him.
Okay. It's like I remember when I was.
I went to Toys R Us once, yeah. since just became a dad, I went to Toys R Us, see what I could pick up. But had some spare time. I thought I'd go and grab him something. I went and got a fake mobile phone that opens and makes noises and stuff. But when I was in there, they had like a toilet at the back of the big. Obviously, they're always really big, and I do not kid you. All I could smell in this Toys R Us was toilet and a really disgusting smell of dirty nappies and just. I couldn't believe it. The whole shop. I was just thinking, if you worked here, would you not be like, guys, we need to sort this out? There was like a bin of overflowing. Obviously, maybe a lot of babies and mums and stuff go there. There was like a bin overflowing with nappies. All I could. So my last time at Toys R Us, all I could smell was disgusting smell. I thought this is a shop. I just wanted to add that. It smelled smelled bad, really bad. Maybe I don't want to go to Toys R Us again.
Really?
But it smelled so bad, bruv. It smelled like a toilet.
That is not good.
Nah.
There's another company that's going to liquidation called Maplin. Maplin Toys R Us.
Yeah. Well, do you remember, the brand All Saints?
Yeah.
Do you remember they went bankrupt a few years ago?
Really?
Yeah, but then now, like, I went past an All Saints yesterday in Edinburgh and it was
Popping.
epic.
Really?
It was epic. Like, how I didn't go in, but their display, the shop was just... Yeah, I don't know how what happened, because I remember when it went bankrupt, and I remember... Well, that's what my understanding, it went bankrupt and it was going to go into liquidation. But now it looks like it's booming again.
Because generally what happens is that people will, when they find that a company is going through a really bad time and it goes public, sometimes people will buy it out and like try and fix it up.
Yeah.
So you do see companies who become bankrupt and then but people still see the potential in it, so they chuck a lot of money into it and they kind of like take ownership of it. So
I also went past, strange enough, it was right next to All Saints, was the Hollister shop.
Mm-hmm.
And it just looked imagine like a traditional old public library with huge pillars, like an old public library.
Yeah.
It was just all black. Just
like the American banks.
Yeah, that's a better like an American bank or American town hall. Just a massive black pillars. I couldn't believe it.
Oh yeah, man.
The money must be behind these companies, man. Are they franchised?
I wonder. I'm intrigued. I don't know. I'm not
be.
sure. There might be. There might be.
This is serious piece. Incredible looking shops.
Yeah, that was reminding me of a conversation I had with a brother recently, who it's completely off topic, but it's because we were talking about one of these shops. He works at this retail store, I think full time, and doesn't touch any of the money, and he's just chucking it all into savings because he's a student or
So
something.
he works somewhere and doesn't touch the money he earns.
Yeah, and he's like so far saved 5k, and he's like. Keep on going, and then when he's done, he's gonna just invest it all into a business. I think
He works in full time doing that.
Yeah, because I think he's on a gap year, and financially he's okay that he doesn't have to necessarily spend money right now. I think maybe like
he lives at home and
he lives at home
everything he earns, he just saves.
Everything he earns, he saves.
Yeah,
And
nice.
do you know what? I thought that is very clever because there's very few times in life where you're gonna have no responsibilities, and if you're at the point where you have no responsibilities, man, work your butt off and.
Yeah, done though. Yeah,
Get that cake.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah, it is like a characteristic of a human being that when you finish a certain part of your life, you think back on it and you think about whether you think about like, if I could give advice to someone younger than me, I would say to them, this is the mistake I made. But then that's what life's about, isn't it? Like parents try and do that all the time and stuff as well. And sometimes you just feel like you have to make the mistake yourself to learn.
You do. You have to live and learn, don't you?
Yeah.
But it's also good. Like that's why you do need mentors, because you want to listen to people and take advice to avoid certain situations.
It's like having a shortcut, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Why would you not want a shortcut?
Exactly. You don't always remain coachable and don't think you know it all, because a lot of people do, including myself. You think you know it all, but realistically, your knowledge in so many things is so minute.
Yeah.
To just remain coachable. If someone gives you advice, maybe take it in. It could really change your life.
Very true,
isn't it?
Brother S Empire, it's been amazing to have an episode back.
Alhamdulillah, that was nice.
Yeah, it was nice, wasn't it? It was nice to have an episode back with the original FG team. Next week, inshallah, will be episode 50, man. And we don't know what we're doing for it. Because we were going to be in Ireland. We don't know what's happening, do we? Ideally, realistically. We'll have to talk.
Yeah.
So, guys, listen, regardless, it's going to be episode 50 next week. What's happening, where it is, if there's a guest, all that information is to be determined. But listen, guys, thank you so much for listening. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, make dua for us, for Sam, for his infection.
Make dua for everyone who is suffering.
It's true. The Ummah. And inshallah, we will see you guys next week. This has been episode 49. We have been Freshly Grounded. He has been Big Man Sam.
Do your peace thing.
It was so weird. Why did I do
I don't
that?
know.
For the first time in my life I can remember, I did peace when I said hi to someone. I did not want to get in the habit of that. So weird. It was so involuntary. Like the guy across the room just like looked at me, and so I thought, what? Anyway, he's been Big Man Sam. I have been Just a Phase. We've got Code Word in the building. Assalamu alaikum. Peace out.
Assalamu alaikum.